Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be creating a website in few minutes. And yes, as I said, in few minutes. This website is going to be really straightforward and simple, and it would look pretty nice as well. And all we need is actually HTML and CSS, no JavaScript, no complicated code. So let's get started. First thing I added the title to my page. I added some metadata. This metadata, for example, specify the width of the screen and make things a little bit smoother when it comes to scaling the page. This one takes the link, takes the style sheet or CSS files out of W3 Schools because they're really awesome. So I'm using W3.css. So let's actually get started and start with the navigation bar. So I'm gonna put a comment. I'm just gonna write navigation bar or just navigation like here, and I'm gonna open a navigation tag, and I'm gonna give it a class of W3 bar, W3 black because I'm gonna make it black. And let's close this one. Gonna create a link, and that link will be for the home page. So I'm just going to put a slash, and then I'm going to give it a class of W3 button, and then a W3 bar item. And all these classes are inside of the W3.css, which make it look nice at the end of the day. So I'm going to call this button or this link Learner Bra, and that will be kind of like my logo of the page in the navigation bar. And let's actually copy all of those, and I'll put them 3 times. The second one I'll make it home, and I never got why all pages have like home buttons, even though like they're kind of useless because the logo will take you to home. But we're just gonna follow the strategies of other websites, I would say. And then this are link, I will make it go to the about page. I'm not going to actually go through how to create an about page, but I'm just gonna tell you that if you create a folder and call it about, the same name as this one, and put an index file inside of it and make that about page, this will actually take you to the about page. And same thing for contact. I'm gonna create a contact page, and I'm gonna type that right here, contact. All right, and I'm gonna close this navigation bar right here, and that's it for actually the navigation bar. That's literally all it is. So I'll show you guys how it would look like in just a second. All right, so I'm opening my browser, going to localhost. Here you go. That's how it would look like. And we can actually make those float to the right. So let's actually do that, make it look a little bit nicer. So if we go back to our code and make this part, we'll give it actually a style of equal to float. Sorry, style equal to float to the right, like this. And here as well. Here as well, like that. And if I refresh, all right, they are on the right. That's perfect. And let's just make home over there instead of having home all the way to the right. And that should be it. And that we will be done with our navigation bar. Okay, here you go. And we are good to go. So navigation is out of the way. All right, so we're done with the navigation. Let's start with the banner, or like a welcome screen or a welcome timeline. We're not gonna actually put a moving timeline, but we're just gonna put a picture. So I'm just gonna call it banner right here. Let's open this section. So we're gonna open a section tag, and inside of that section tag, I'll put a picture. So let's just open it and close it. All right, and inside of it, I'll put an image. And I already downloaded a few images. So there's one that is called welcome, and welcome.jpg, I would say. Yep, welcome.jpg right here. And I'm gonna give it an alternative if this picture doesn't load properly. It's just gonna say welcome. and then I'm gonna do style of, let's say, equal to width, and the width will be 100%, let's say. And then here you go, and then let's save and let's run it. Here you go, we have a nice looking picture over there. All right, so we're done with the banner. Let's go to, let's say, a description section under it. So let's see how we can do that. All right, so in our description section, we will put a few things. Let's say a logo, or I'm not gonna put a logo, but also like a heading that represent a logo, a small description, what is this website about, and I think that's about it. And like, let's say a motto. So let's put, I will put this one as description. All right, I open the section. Let's close this section. All right. And just a reminder, all this code can be found on my website. So just don't freak out if I'm writing too fast or there's anything that you don't understand. Everything will be on my website with comments of what's actually happening. So no need to worry. So in this section, I'm going to give it a class of W3 container and W3 content and W3 center, and this will just make it centered and it will contain the text and make things a little bit more readable and more responsive as well on mobile devices. All right, and I'm going to give it a style of a maximum width for the section of 600 pixel. So it would not be bigger than 600 pixel. All right, and we close this tag, so we're good to go for this part. All right, so we're gonna give it a heading. So let's just make this heading a little bit like that. I'm gonna give it a class of W3 wide, which will make it a little bit bigger than a regular H2 heading. And I'm gonna give it the name, so learner brow and H2 like this. All right, so we have that out of the way. We're going to create a paragraph, give it a class of, we can say, we can give it like a different opacity. So this will make it a little bit, W3 opacity will make it a little bit, not darker, lighter, I would say. And we can put a small motto for our website. So turn from a brow to a pro. That's actually the motto of my website. So please don't use it. Copyrights, I guess, not really. Anyways, all right. So that's for this part. So I can write P, another, well, I'm going to write actually another paragraph, and I'm going to put few things inside of it. So let's do this paragraph, and actually, sorry, I forgot to close this. It should be like that. And this one, I didn't close it properly. All right, that's why whenever you actually try to go to a line and it does some weird stuff, you did mess up the line before it. That's how I feel things work with most text editors. All right, so I'm going to put a class for this second paragraph, W3 justify. All right, and I'm just going to paste this because I don't feel like typing all this information. So paste it, make sure it's just closed properly, and if you just want to make things a little bit easier for you to read, just press enter a couple of times, and that should do the job. Right here, like that. It wouldn't really affect the paragraphs, but it'll just make your code look a little bit cleaner. So let's refresh this. All right, so we have this section with some description about our website and our motto and the logo right here. So let's go to the next step. All right, so let's go to the next section, and that section will be called articles, or whatever you would actually would like to have name for it, I'm just going to call it articles, or actually projects, or something that would refer you to a section that different pages on your website, for example. So let's see. Let's create another section. And by the way, section is literally just like a div. If you're familiar with the tag div, it's literally the same thing. It's just a different way of writing it, and it's more objective what you type section. So, all right. So we're gonna do a W3 row padding. We're gonna do W3 center. We want it centered in the page. W3 light gray, which will make the background light gray. All right, so let's do that. Let's create an article inside of that section. And by the way, this will be closed by a section like this eventually. We're still going to put a lot inside of that anyways. So inside of this article, we're going to type a class of W3 third, because we're going to do like 3 section of images. I'm going to give this, let's actually close it first, and then I'm going to put inside of it a paragraph, and this will be education. This is going to be the education section. All right, like that. And let's put an image inside of it. So image, and then source, and then inside of that image, let's do the sun one, the sun.jpg. I already download them on the left hand corner right here. So let's do sun, and then .jpg alternative will be education, just the name education in case this page doesn't load. The style will be with 100%. All right, like that. Let's close this tag, and we're finished with the first picture. So let's actually copy and paste the same exact thing, but we're gonna put different pictures for each one. All right, so W3, this one we have train, so let's do train. This one is tree, let's do tree. So we can technically do something around this. So instead of education, we can actually do tree, train, sun. They mean absolutely nothing, but I'm just gonna put it that way anyways. We can make this also say train as an alternative, like that, and let's save and refresh. Let's see what we're gonna have. Here you go, something around these lines. And let's see why this is actually a bad image. It has a gap on the bottom, so that's why they don't look alike, but in theory they're all gonna be looking alike. So if I actually do something around this, if I just do this sun, they're all gonna be looking the same with the same length and width. All right, so let's actually revert this back. So that's for this section. We're actually done with that section. There's nothing else that we can add to it. So that's it. So last part will be the footer. So let's do a section called footer. Oh, right. So in the footer section, I'm going to create a footer tag. I'm going to give it a class of W3 container. We're going to do W3 padding. And let's do 64. That's fine. W3 center. W3 black. We want to make this section black to match the header, and we'll do W3 X large, and just spell X large right. Okay, so let's close this section, and I'm gonna do another href, and those hrefs I'm not gonna include anything in them. I'm just gonna leave it to you guys to include your personal link, because those will include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you guys are experts, so you're just gonna put your own link instead of that hash. All right, so I'll put a class, and let me close this like this because I always forget this part. So I'm gonna write FA Facebook, and then I'm gonna use the official and close this tag, close this like this, and then also close attribute. And by the way, this will not be understandable unless you give one of the CSS files that actually represent this, and I'm gonna add that to the bottom of my body. So let me copy those. I'm gonna put a bunch of those, but I'm gonna replace the Facebook one to, let's say, the Instagram one. So let's have Instagram, and that one I'm gonna have let's say Twitter, and that one I will have YouTube, and that one, let's say, LinkedIn, like this. All right, so that's it for this part. We can add a new section, or not a new section, in the same section we can add a paragraph and say class equal to W3 medium. And what you can write, you can say this page is created by, and don't actually put a space, no need, created by, and I'm gonna put an attribute, no need for a space in here either, attribute of href, and then I'm gonna put my website. So whenever somebody clicks on this link, it would go to my website because, let's say, I created it and I want to take credit for it. So it will go to my website. And to open it on a different link, all you have to do is just do underscore blank, and this will open it in a new tab. So I'll type learn it brow, and then close this attribute. All right, and that's it. I actually didn't close the paragraph, so I'm gonna close the paragraph right here as well, and I'm gonna close the footer section like this. Here you go. And right here I'm just going to add the link of my style sheet for those kind of logos. Alright, so I'm gonna actually add the link over here, and this is actually what we need to set up those. I already actually I messed up right here. Instagram, I think I spelled it wrong like that. Alright, Facebook official. Alright, that's good. So there's just few spelling mistakes will actually trigger an error. What else can we fix? I actually fixed, I brought a new train image, and I'm not gonna actually call it train, I'm just gonna call it snow or anything else, it doesn't really matter. And let's put a space in here, that's just small few touches. Let's save and we run that. Here you go. So we have all these links over here: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and created by Learn It Brow, like that. And I think that's about it. What we can do, we can add a little bit of padding on the bottom of this section to make it look a little bit nicer. So what I can do, add a style of padding, or we can do padding bottom, and then we can do, let's say, 30 pixel, something around this line. So if we refresh, let's see what we'll do. Here you go. We added a little bit of padding that actually made things a little bit nicer. And by the way, if you press on those, this will actually do absolutely nothing. If we press on Learn It Brow, it will just take you to the home page. And if I go on contact right now, it'll actually tell you 404 because it's not found. But if you create that folder with that index file, it will actually work. So that's literally it for this website. Here you go. We created a website that is partially responsive. It's not 100% responsive. We can like go like this and it would go under each other, but some of the navigation bar components will not be responsive 100%, and I will cover those in later tutorials because I don't want to make this tutorial long. It's already 20 minutes, so I'm pretty sure you're bored by now. So here you go. We have our website in less than 20 minutes, and I think it looks sick. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions. And I hope I wasn't too fast and I didn't confuse anybody, but feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer. And I'll probably include some tutorials on how to make, let's say, a toggle button to make this more responsive and so on. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.